Conor Keeley, how are you doing? What's the
Good.
story? Good stuff. Now, you started your schoolboy football. Where did you start playing your schoolboy football?
Well, I started, I'd say probably at I was at Dunboyne, my local team here for 2 years, and then I moved on to Kells. I was on the 13s.
Yeah.
And then I moved away all the way up to the first team. That was my schoolboy.
Yeah.
I didn't move.
Are you a Dunboyne man originally?
Well, I lived in Clonee for a few years, but I suppose I am. I've been here for nearly 16, 17 years now. So
yeah.
I call myself a Dunboyne man now.
Did you ever play in the GAA growing up, or was it just the football?
Yeah, actually, I only stopped. I was when I was doing the leaving cert, I was at Shell's first team, and I was playing with the Mead Mourners as well at the same time.
I
was
aware of that now. You learned something here. That didn't come up in my research.
not many people knew about it. You know, few politics in the guard that they didn't like me, so that's why I had to stop it. But yeah, no, I played with them for I think a year, and then Michelle's as well, and then doing the leave cert, so it was a busy time. But no, that's when I gave it up. It was just too much to do.
It's a lot. Yeah. You're 22, aren't you? Did you play with the likes of Ronan Jones or any players like that, or?
Yeah, Jonesy, he lives local to me as well. I played with him right the way up since we were only small. He was my age group in Ga as well, so yeah, I know him very well.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player, isn't he?
Very good, yeah.
Yeah, he is a bit of a powerhouse. Now you played with Shelburne, as you said there. I think it was 2014 you joined and played for 2 years. How did that experience go for you? I know I think you played 10 games under Doherty, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Kev brought me in from the 19s. It was him and John Martin that brought me in, and you know, I'm forever grateful for them giving me that opportunity, because that's what sort of started me up. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, I played a few games here and there. I think it was only one my first season against Cole. It was the last game of the season. And then played I think it was 8 or 9 games after that until he left. But no, I really enjoyed it, and it was just unfortunate it didn't work out in the end. It was probably just inexperience, and I was still very young that didn't get any much game time. But no, I really enjoyed my time with Shells.
Yeah, so you moved on to Cabinteely in 2017, or it might have been 16, but your first season with the club was 2017. How did that come about? Did you speak a lot to Pat Devlin himself?
No, it was actually it was Eddie Gormley that rang me on the phone.
Okay.
So now Pat was only coming in brand new, so I think he was doing a lot of stuff outside of looking for players, and I think it was Eddie that was kind of doing most of it. But yeah, it was just I left Shells the second last game of the season, and then I finished completely, and I was thinking, geez, I don't know, did I make the right decision? Will I keep playing football? I was still him and Hahn, because I was still quite disappointed leaving Shells. But now Eddie gave me a call in December and just said, look, we'd love to have you down. And I think it was about a week after I just signed, and yeah, I've just been there ever since.
And at that point, you'd actually left Shells, so you didn't have a club, did you, at that point?
No, I was clubless for, I'd say, about 4 months.
Yeah. It must have been tough, actually, because you must have been wondering to yourselves, you know, where do I go from here? I suppose I know you're young, but you're out of the club for 4 months, and I suppose you weren't expecting a phone call kind of a thing, were you?
No, because, again, as I said, I was contemplating whether I should keep up. I didn't know whether to keep playing, or did I make the right decision? Should I go back to the car? And you know, there was tears, there was everything. You know what I mean, I was all over the place. But I was delighted that Eddie gave me the call, and yeah, I've just been there ever since, and I've loved it.
Yeah, it is a difficult one in League of Ireland, isn't it? Though, in that sense, that a lot of players, they could be possibly going from club to club in pre-season, and they're not sure if they're going to get a contract, etc., etc. That's a real difficulty in the League of Ireland. I suppose it keeps you on your toes a little bit, though, doesn't it, as well? Like, you know, if you know, say you have a 1-year contract or whatever, like, you know, a lot of players may have, they know they have to perform. I suppose that's it as well. Like,
that's this year. Like even this season, like I didn't have a club up until January. This year, like obviously there was rumours with Cabot and stuff that, you know, they got angry, whatever. That was all just in the media. But I didn't know that personally, and I only ended up bringing Pat, I think, in December. And we said, no, look, everything's grand and we'd love to have you back. But for those 2-3 months, I was ringing here, ringing there, and my dad was doing all my agent stuff, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's not nice, but that's just part of it, and you just have to get on with it.
Yeah. You're club captain though, aren't you?
Yeah, but haven't even played a game yet.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You ain't been a pre-season, so yeah, the worst captain in history, but yeah, no, it was
the team
nice
have been
for
winning matches, so you can argue you're doing something in the dressing room,
Yeah, no, just because I've been there for, I think, this is my fourth season, so that's what I think Pat gave me the captain's armband. But it's just funny that I haven't even played a game yet. But
how's it feel being captain though? I know you said you haven't played a game, but do you feel different, or do you feel like you have to be different, or is it just a case of being the person you are essentially?
no, I think I'm going about like as if I have the last 3 years. You know what I mean, I haven't really changed. I talk to the lads the same. I don't really do much. It's more of a leadership thing more than anything else. Someone has to be captain at the end of the day, and I just got chosen. That's the way I feel.
Yeah, and the reason why you're given it as well is probably because of your general nature as it is anyway. So you know what I mean. That's it too.
Yeah, that's I try to get on with as much of the lads as possible. You know what I mean. I try and talk to as many of them as I can and get the lads together. But yeah, and obviously the fact I've been there a couple of years as well is just probably why they gave it to me.
The funny thing is you're 22, but you'd be nearly far from one of the youngest in the squad as well.
It's mad. Like the lads there are 17, 18, 19, and 22, and I think, oh geez, I'm one of the old ones here. You know what I mean?
Kieran Marty Waters must feel like a granddad, does he?
He's moving now. He's that old.
He's a good player though. So the first season you were at the club in 2017, how did you feel that went? The first season, if you remember that far back.
Yeah, a couple of years ago now. No, it was good. It was tough because it was literally just like a brand new lot of players come in, and I remember the first day of pre-season, like I went down and geez, was 30, 40 players down there. And I was thinking, wow, like I didn't even know most of them, but no, we got together well, and we had a few experiences in there, and it was kind of for me, it was a learning season. I got a feel for. I think I played 25, 26 games that year, so it was good. But it was okay. But again, the league position, it did some up. We weren't the best team. You know what I mean? Like on paper, we were very good, but just as a team, we just, I don't know. I think we didn't gel as much as we could. And obviously there was much better teams in the league that season. But no, again, for me personally, it was a learning curve, and it's helped me massively now after getting all those games under the belt.
You have to remember as well, Cabinteely were only in the league, I think, 2 seasons maybe.
Yeah, that was a third year there.
Third year there. You're talking about, excuse me, a brand new club to the League of Ireland, and you're coming up against I think Waterford might have been there that year.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. I think we went down the second game of the season, lost 3-0, and I said, Jesus, I don't like football anymore. I got to run around for 90 minutes, and yeah, it was tough, but
did you really? Yeah.
It all stands me now and in the future. They're just learning curves, I mean, as a young player.
Yeah, but in fairness, 2018 was probably quite similar, was it, in a way, to 2017, that season?
It wasn't Waterford, it was who won the league that year?
Who won the league? I think it's finished near enough the same position though, didn't you? Was it draw that? No. Finn Harps.
Jeez, my memories.
No, I can't remember. But anyway, 2018 was kind of another season was a bit of a learning curve for the club as well. I think he struggled to score goals that season. I think that was a big thing, was it? In 2018. Yeah,
I remember Marty had a few goals in the first season, and then the second year, he still scored a few goals, but he was the only one kind of scoring. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we were kind of struggling there, but again, it was good to get. I think it was the same amount of games in my belt, and I think it was. I got injured halfway through that season, so I only played about 16, 17 games, and I was out for 5 months. So,
what kind of injury did you pick up?
It was tendonitis in my groin, so I was I had to get injections, and I was out for 5 months after all, and I literally only came back the next pre-season. Like I hadn't lifted any weights because I couldn't. It was too sore for 4 months, and it was tough getting into that pre-season after. But I was happy that they signed me back because they could have easily just said no. He's like,
true, yeah,
not fit. You know what I mean? So, but no, I'm happy they took me back on there and signed me up again.
So obviously 2019 was a much better season. Did you feel going into that season that the squad looked stronger initially before a ball was kicked? Did you feel that, or did you just feel? Yeah,
I kind of got the same feeling as the last 2 years. Like we were there and thereabouts, but we won't really cause much of an upset. And that's not like me, because I always like to think we can go on and win the league always. You know what I mean? But I think the last 2 seasons had like a bit of a knock-on effect, and it was kind of like it caused a few upsets here and there. But it was actually the second game against Chelsea when we won 3-2 there. I thought, Jesus, this is the best team we're going to play, and they ended up being the best team. They won the league, but I thought, wow, that like we can put up a real fight here if we want. And again, we went on. I think we only lost 4 or 5 games the whole season.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were unbelievable that year.
Yeah, and in a way unlucky. You only finished a point behind Drogheda, who finished second, and you were level with Longford. You obviously beat Longford in penalties. And obviously the result in Drogheda was an off day. Drogheda are the type of team though, they can blitz you in like a half an hour, you know what I mean? That must have been disappointing.
Yeah, it was really. But again, we lost to a better team. So, like I was upset at the time, but as you reflect on it the day after, you think they deserve to go through. They really do. They're a fantastic team. I know Kev and Tim have them well trained up there, and they literally, you saw them with UCD this year. They
17 minutes, yeah. They blitzed them. First 70 minutes, the game was over. It was like, geez.
They did that last year as well, and you just have to hold your hands up and say they're a better team. They can do that to you. It's just nullifying that and not letting them score as many goals as they can. But they deserve to go through. We're disappointed, obviously, to go out, but they're 100% the worthy winners.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because you actually were more free flowing, it seemed, last season, Cabinteely, weren't they? Like compared to the season before, we were struggling for goals a little bit. Last season scored a lot of goals, like, you know what I mean? What do you put that down to? Do you put down to system changes, or just simply putting the ball in the back of the net more regularly, like,
It's a bit of both, I think. We played a few times. We played 3 at the back with Marky and Rob up top.
Yeah.
And honestly,
obviously Rob came in, obviously, as well.
So Rob was there, that's but
never mentioned that.
Yeah. No, I think having Marky and Rob there, I think they're the best partnership in the league last year.
Definitely, yeah.
They just worked off each other really well, and we were solid defensively with me and Jack beside me as well. But no, I think it was more, Rob got a bit of confidence after scoring, because he was a bit all over the place coming to pre-season. Obviously, he hadn't played many games, but a few goals, he was building on confidence, and history wrote itself. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's funny, he mentioned Marty Waters set up nearly every single one of his goals, he told me as well.
I think you didn't mention that, but
you mentioned you played with Jack as well. Is he a big loss to the team, do you think?
Chewy is big time, yeah. Me and him got on so well together at centre half, whether it's the 3 at the back or we're playing in beside each other. Just we work really well together, and we just, from day one, we got each other straight away.
He's a versatile defender as well, isn't he? He can kind of play right back as well, can't he?
Yeah, he was playing 3 at the back, but he's playing almost right winger sometimes. That's the way he is, but now he's a really good player. He plays at the half, or he can play right back. He played right back when he was at Derby, so he started inside the half really well with us when he came in. Yeah,
there's a lot of good young players coming through. You've Keith Dalton there, you've Barnes. I think they scored 5 goals between them at the start of the season as well.
Yeah.
You've Laputis as well, is it? Is that how you pronounce
it? Phyllis is there as well. He was he's come back now. He was injured last season for a bit, so he's come back in. Keith is actually, I think he's older than me. He is. He's he's probably one of the oldest, and Barnes has been really good this year. He's got his chance and he's got a few goals. So it's just unfortunate that everything happened, because we were hitting good form, and I think we would have kicked on a bit more as well.
Yeah, most of them were there last season, but I don't think any of them played 20 games. I think they played under 20 games, so obviously in and out or whatever, So it looked like at the start of this season they were going to really add to the team as well,
Yeah, like Barnes, because Rob was there. Rob was banging in goals, and Barnes was as well. You can't say anything. He's banging in goals. He's not going to get a sniff if Rob's gone. You know what I mean? But Rob's gone now, and I'd say he will take his chance. He's a really good player, and hopefully now depending on when we get back, he can score.
Yeah, certainly have the missed goals. I think you scored 4 against Bray, 3 against, it was Athlone, wasn't it? And 1-0 win against Rovers B as well. So obviously a great start, so it was, and you hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And so it came at a bad time, this pandemic as well. It came at a bad time for everybody. But when you're in form like that and starting the season like that, the only thing is, were you injured at the start of the season?
Yeah, literally, the first pre-season game we played Shells in Aberdeen, and my ankle kind of got caught from a tackle in the Astro and ended up doing ligament damage in every part of the ankle and had a fractured ankle bone and stuff. So, it wasn't nice, but luckily I'm back running and doing everything now. So
I was going to say that you'd be fit and ready to go now, like, you know. That
yeah, exactly. I actually would have been fit for. I think we meant to play Wexford before all this happened.
Would have been fit for that. Yeah.
Would have been fit for that, but then all this happened. So by the time we get back, it'll be around, I'd say, just under a year since the last 90 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Mental.
Well, what would you've seen? Cabinteely are obviously, I think it's the 6th year as a club, you know, in the League of Ireland.
Yeah.
Have you seen a lot of development in the time you've been there at the club, behind the scenes and things like that? And maybe give a bit of an insight to what happens behind the scenes at Cabinteely, basically.
Yeah, like I, to be honest, I sort of stay away from that stuff. You know, there's people there to look after that, but like everything is improved massively. And I mean, like even from, I think it was the 2nd year, there was brand new flowers put in, and the clubhouse looked a lot more professional. You know, with more players coming up from the 19s and stuff now training with us. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, it's tough for them not having their own ground and stuff. You know, they're gonna have their complications with pitches and stuff. But now it's developing nicely, and you know, I think all that stuff in the media was more them trying to get, you know, clicks and views on their
it was, to be honest with you. Yeah.
But you know, it is tough for them because they're only starting off. But again, I think they're developing really well.
Yeah, exactly. For starting off, they're doing really well. Like, I mean, I know you said Drogheda were the better side last year, but you know, you were in the final basically. You could have won the game, so you were there till the end.
Yeah.
It's brilliant for a new club. Like, you're coming up against the likes of Drogheda and your Longfords and that. You know, these are fairly big clubs, so that's fantastic. What can you tell me about Pat Devlin? What kind of a man is Pat?
Pat's he's a gas man. He's like me personally, he's looked after me so well. The last couple of years now, we've had our disputes and stuff, but that's only football, so he'll tell you forget about that straight away. But now he really is great with all the players. He can have the, you know, the mate side of it, things he can talk to, like he can tell you all sorts of stories. But again, he can have the culture side, so it's a good balance. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, when it has to get serious, he will get serious.
He's amazing though, because I won't say his age, but he's in his 60s anyway. But you can just see the drive and the hunger, and not even inside the club, you know, that kind of way. But you can still see the drive and the hunger and desire he has to succeed. And it's not just managing the side; it's everything within the club, isn't it? As well. I remember him years ago at Bray Wanderers, and the work he done at Bray Wanderers was just amazing as well. Like, you know, he managed to keep Jason Byrne at the club much longer than he probably should have been, if I'm honest with you. Yeah. That was probably down to him, I'd imagine. Yeah. So he really is. He's a legend in the League of Ireland.
He's a football man. I don't think he'll ever. I think he'll be in his 80s and he still want the man.
He's got to say that until you know the old saying goes, until he drops. If you like.
He'll stay until the end. That's just the way he is.
I'd say he's bored at this minute in time as well. I'd say it's killing him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I rang him a few times and straight away asked him how he was bored.
Yeah.
It's like everyone, you know, it's just about kind of getting over this now and hopefully be back now in the next month or two.
Yeah, hopefully that's the plan anyway. Right, the best player you've ever played with so far in your career?
I only played with him a few times, but I have to say Jason Byrne.
Right.
Yeah, when he came in that 4th season, he just swear to God, he was taking me on and training, he was beating me, and he was turning 40, and I was like, Jesus, what's going on here? You know what I mean? He was just unbelievable. He was a very good pro. And you know, obviously he didn't play as much as he wanted, but the times he was training and he helped the lads that were strikers as well. So yeah, I'd say he's probably the best player I played with.
Yeah, I'd say he was very influential there, in fairness, wasn't he?
100%. He was brilliant with, especially young lads, just kind of, you know, encouraging them and stuff. He did a bit of coaching while he was playing as well. So now he was really good to us.
Who's the best player you've played against directly so far? So the best striker, I suppose, you would have come up against, or the hardest opponent, really.
I'd have to say it's a mix between, I'd say, three. I'd say Georgie Kelly at UCD.
Right.
You know, we always had good battles.
Yeah.
And then I'd say the two lads off Waterford. Do you remember, what was his name, first name? O'Sullivan from Cork.
Carl Sullivan, yeah?
No, not Carl Sullivan.
Carl Sullivan.
He played Waterford.
Vinny?
I couldn't remember his name. And then David McCabe as well. The two of them were up top for Waterford that year. They were, again, as I told you, the first game they absolutely blitzed us. But yeah, that was a wake-up call. But no, they were two very good players.
Yeah, Georgie Kelly's quite physical, isn't he?
Yeah, that's why
you'd be quite physical as well, like.
That's why we had some cool battles. You know, we you know, any aerial duels and hold up playing stuff. It was always good to play against him. It was good to learn.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't get many players like him in the league.
Yeah, he's a bit of a throwback kind of a player, isn't he, Georgie Kelly? Like,
yeah,
he's physical. You don't see as much as them these days for some reason, like, don't you?
Well, he's fantastic on the ground as well. Like, he's very good with his feet. So again, it was tough marking, but it was good to
I'm convinced he would actually do very well at Dundalk. It's just Pat Hooban is there.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean? It's they arguably have the two best. Yeah, they've arguably the two best strikers in the league. Arguably, you know what I mean? So it's incredible, you know.
Yeah.
But who's the most skillful player in training?
Most skillful. I'd have to give that to Marty. I'd say he's pulling a few tricks sometimes, but there's not many skillful players in that team, I tell you. But
really,
Marty's probably up there.
Yeah. You'd probably pick him out from kind of a fan perspective as well.
Yeah.
He just pulls things out of the blue, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well? Who's the hardest trainer?
The hardest trainer. There's a few of them now. To be fair, like the lads, most of the team trains hard. There's no real. Some people are lazy. Like everyone kind of works hard in training.
I don't think Pat would allow that.
No, he wouldn't. Definitely not. I'm quite of a brain already. If you're in training at your best. But I'll say the whole team. I'll give it to the whole team because the team as a trainer are always fantastic. They're always very high.
Yeah, it's good. It means it's a good influence on everyone in the group. Then if everyone's trained to the same standard,
that's what you kind of need. Like there is sometimes you get a bit heated, but you don't mind that because
I think that's a good thing. I think it has to get heated as well at times. There are some players though. I won't name who they are and who they play for and stuff. But I know there are some players who will tell themselves they're not the best trainers, but once they get out onto the football pitch, they're completely different. Like it's strange how some players are like that. Like but
it's adapting to the atmosphere and whatever the experience and stuff. But now it's again some players react differently, and I think I'm kind of that myself as well. When it's like you see the opposition team and you start the match, it kind of influences you a
bit. Yeah. Who's the comedian in the dressing room?
Wow. There's some bad band in that dressing room. There's a few. I'll say Johnny Carlin, and I'll give it to Fitzy. You kill me if I don't kill him. Sean Fitzpatrick as well.
Oh really? Yeah. I got to mention him with Rob Manley there on. I wasn't impressed.
He wasn't happy. He wasn't happy at all.
No. Who's the moaniest in the squad?
You lads would kill me if I said I wasn't. I'd probably give that to myself.
Would you give it to yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
In what sense? Like, just be all football related or in general?
Just training. Sometimes I let myself. I try to be as constructive as possible, but no, a few lads just told me that I've been quite moany over the years. So yeah, I'll take that one. I'll take the hit.
Fair enough. Who can't get out of the mirror?
Mick Kelly, 100% goalkeeper. He's in the mirror 24/7.
You're serious, yeah?
After hours in training matches, he's always fixing his hair, gelling his hair. Honestly, brutal.
A cold night in Cabinteely and he has to fix his hair, Who's the biggest nutter in the group?
Biggest nutter?
Has to be a nutter, doesn't there?
Yeah, there has to be. Again, a few lads fall in this category as well. I'd probably say I'll give it to either I'd say Marty or Johnny again. The two of them.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, two of them are just nuts. Madmen, absolute madmen. So I'd say, they'd get that.
Right, so have you a favourite artist or musician, Connor? Or are you into music at all?
Well, to be honest, I'm a bit of everything. I don't really have a specific sort of, favorite artist. I kind of get a bit of everything. So
right. So Britney Spears is what you're saying, yeah?
I went a bit Britney Spears, yeah. 100%.
Favorite food?
Favorite food? I'd have to say a Nando's. I do like a Nando's. It's a classic one, but that's what I like.
Exactly, yeah. Favorite sports personality? Doesn't have to be a footballer, so anyone's sports.
I'd probably put this into. I'd probably say either Gerrard or Xabi Alonso were my two idols growing up.
Liverpool fan, then, yeah.
Yeah, big Liverpool fan.
Yeah, they were really good players. They played very well together.
Watching them play was unbelievable, and obviously, I used to play centre mid when I was younger, and that sort of inspired me. But no, they were two fantastic players to watch growing up.
Also, I believe Xabi Alonso used to come to Kells when he was a youngster, didn't he? Something like that. Check that up, though. I think he used to come to Kells. I've seen him with a me jersey, yeah. As an exchange thingy, Majili student thing or something like that.
That's the worst part of me you can go to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, I've seen him with a me jersey, yeah, believe it or not. Biggest fear or phobia? Have you got a funny phobia or anything?
Yeah, snakes are I know there's none in Ireland. Well, there's not many, but yeah, snakes are the worst ones. I just don't like them at all.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't be saying that. That'll be going out onto YouTube and stuff. But yeah, they're.
You're lucky, like for me, it's rats. So we have a few rats in Ireland. I'd rather a snake than a rat.
Yeah.
I'd be out of the house, like honestly, like I'd be like a sissy, like you know what I mean. Right, that's it, Conor. Thanks very much for coming on. Really enjoyed the track, and look after yourself. All right.
Yeah, same to you. Stay safe.
Thanks a million. Same to you.
Cheers, pal.